The roads are torn apart, the bridges washed away. Driving to Eyjafjallajökull is no easy matter, but I'm determined to get as close as I can to the volcano that caused so much chaos for travelers in Europe last month. The eruption continues and has melted much of the Eyjafjalla glacier. Floodwaters poured through this area, leaving behind a lunar-like wasteland. A layer of ash covers everything, including the mountain which before the eruption was topped by snow. Clumps of glacial ice litter the area. Fierce winds whip up the dust. Soon my mouth, nose, and eyes are blocked. The track ends here. This is as far as I'll get. The white vapor is steam from the glacier's ice. The black clouds are ash thrown up by explosions in the volcano. It's these explosions that have proved so dangerous, launching the ash kilometers into the sky. The Earth here harbors much volcanic activity, and soon it may not be just Eyjafjallajökull where it breaks out. Close by are the much bigger volcanoes Katla and Hekla. An eruption there has long been thought likely. But Icelanders are prepared, according to Björni Gudmundsson, who's my guide on today's trip.
Yeah, this is a volcano island, and we have every other year or so, every 2 or 3 years, we have volcanoes erupting in Iceland. And this is something we're used to. We have volcanoes and earthquakes, and but we're prepared for it. We build the houses strong, and we don't build houses close to the volcanoes, so usually there's no danger.
To my ears, this sounds unlikely. Eruptions, clouds of ash without any danger? I drive to Reykjavik, to the National Crisis Coordination Center. Here, the volcano is monitored around the clock. Data comes in from every possible source: webcams, seismographs, meteorological stations. It's the most state-of-the-art control room of its kind in Europe. If need be, emergency crews and scientists can meet directly here. It looks like a NASA control room to me, except that attention is focused on a mountain. I ask Police Chief Vidrich Reynisson about the center's work. I'd like to know if he gives information out to the public or if people call in to get information.
Yeah, we use the web a lot to get information to the people, but all those information sites are open to the public. So everybody who wants to get information can get them straight from the internet. All Icelanders are quite are some kind of earth scientists in them. So everybody is looking at how the nature is behaving in the weather or earthquakes or volcanoes or avalanches or flooding and whatever. Everybody is interested. You have to be when you live in Iceland. It's just part of living here.
For the moment, the eruption has lost some of its force. That's good news for the people worst affected by the ash raining down here. The south of Iceland, around the foot of the volcano, is one of the country's main agricultural areas. Farmers depend on their animals. But the pastures are heavily coated with wet ash. I come to Gudni Thorvaldsson's farm. His sheep are all indoors. The air outside contains high levels of fluorine. That can poison animals, and the young lambs are particularly at risk.
Can you hold this?
Yeah.
Yeah? Huh? Yeah.
But things have gotten better, Thorvaldsson says. There has been some rain, and help has come from neighbors and the authorities. Thorvaldsen tells me that the emergency services helped clean the roofs of his buildings. Other people cleared the ash from his garden, and a tractor came too. He says he's had a lot of help. And there are some benefits from the ash. Apparently, it's a good fertilizer. Thorvaldsen says within a year, the pastures will be green again. Help has also come from abroad. These volunteers were in Iceland for an environmental project when the eruption began. They're helping clear the grounds of a small hotel. Inside, the hotel owner says she's been cleaning for a week. She's even kept some ash.
We got some email from a guest and they like to collect.
Icelanders certainly show humor in the face of adversity. For some, though, the eruption has been worrying. I've come to a primary school in Kolsvöllur, not far from the volcano. The children have to wear face masks when they go outside. The school's principal, Sigurlin Svenpadadóttir, shows me pictures of the volcano drawn by the children. For many, the last weeks have been traumatic, as Svandi explains. It was terrible, she says. She wanted to go to her grandmother's house because she thought the eruption would reach the school. Those initial fears have now passed, the principal tells me. She was born and raised here, and for her, eruptions are part of life. She's seen Hekla active, and volcanoes on islands off the southwest coast. She doesn't get worried, she says. For the children, it was the first time, though. But now they've learned it's okay. Eruptions are okay. That's something you will probably only hear in Iceland. People here seem to have a particularly optimistic take on life. And what would Iceland's tourist sector do without the country's volcanoes? They're a major attraction. This group of geology students has flown in from the Netherlands. I can understand their fascination.
Yeah, but there's also white and light brown.
Amid the beauty of this landscape, it's easy to forget its dangers. It's always bubbling, boiling, and blowing somewhere in Iceland. This water is searingly hot. This is where continental plates meet. To my left is Europe, to my right, America, in geological terms at least. This is the only place on Earth where the mid-Atlantic rift touches the surface. Magma boils just below a thin layer of crust. That's why this country has so many volcanoes. I have a sense of why Icelanders love this landscape, despite the dangers beneath its surface.